Fans, how are you? I am Drew Taylor, staff writer for Bounding Into Comics, and also most people on the internet know me as Supreme Heretic. So it's nice to see everybody. I wrote a story yesterday for Bounding, and you can see it on your screen because I'm sharing it. And it's theories about how the Battlestar Galactica reboot's going to work. And so we're going to take today's stream and kind of go into that because I thought it would be pretty darn neat to talk about it because when I wrote this piece, I feel like, I laid out some good stuff. So we'll get into it, and you guys are really should really enjoy it if you're a Battlestar Galactica fan, because when I get a chance to actually talk BSG, I really enjoy doing that. And, much props to my boss, John F. Trent, and my fellow writers on the Bounding staff are doing such a good job. We've always got content up on our site, and we're all over breaking news and everything and entertainment. So make sure if you haven't checked out Bounding Into Comics yet, you check out our site. So all right, well, let's get into the story, and I have my story pulled up here. So basically, that the reboot's in the works, and hang on, I got an echo here because I'm watching. There we go. I got it muted now. Sorry about that. But yeah, the reboot's in the works. It's going to be on NBC Universal's new streaming platform called Peacock. That's going to be out April 2020 is what they're targeting for all the content to be on there. Now, the guy that did Mr. Robot is doing BSG. And from what he said, they're going to do it in the 2004 series continuity. So you have the 2004 continuity still, which is good because that universe has much more lore and everything else to expand on. And I know there's a lot of people out there that like the TOS version of Galactica, and I saw the TOS Galactica. And my take on TOS Galactica, especially with Richard Hatch dead, it would kind of be a disservice now to try to pick up something in the TOS Galactica timeline. I don't feel like the TOS timeline would work as well. And there's just something a lot more smoother about the way that the 2004 series established a canon. So yeah, I like where they went with that. So establishing that's a good thing. But see, here's the issues. So there's two different roads you can go down with the reboot, right? You have a direct sequel where you have where you can revisit the first Cylon War. Now, I'll go ahead and briefly cover what I covered in the article here. So my thoughts on the direct sequel, I feel really torn on that. Because first off, you got to hope you can get a lot of the old humanoid Cylon models to come back. So you have to do a lot of negotiating and, you know, rounding them up. I mean, I'm sure you could get some of them because some of them were, you know, supporting and bit part actors, and, you know, that you could get them on board rather easily. But, you know, the bigger ones that are kind of there, you know, Grace Park and Trisha Helfer, you know, it would be kind of tough. Even Callum Keith Rennie that played Leoben. So, you know, I mean, you would have to hope you could get most of the humanoid Cylons to come back. At least the ones that were commonly depicted on there. And that's if you were going on with a sequel. Because if you remember, and I'm going to get into spoiler territory here, so if you haven't seen the 2004 series, I'll lay it out for you very quickly so that you can binge it. Make sure you watch. There is a mini series from around 2002, 2003. It originally came out. That was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and you want to watch the mini series first. You can go and I believe you can watch all this stuff on Amazon Prime Video. Now, some of the movies that go along with the series do cost extra, but you should be able to, if you already have Amazon Prime, you can watch the entirety of the 2004 series for free, including the mini. I want to say the mini is free, the mini series, but if not, it doesn't cost a lot of money to watch it. So, all right. Now we're headed to the spoiler territory. So if you guys, if it's fresh in your mind and you remember how it ended, you know, obviously it ended with them shedding all their technology. You know, they had found a planet that wasn't the Earth they thought they were looking for, but it wound up being their Earth, which was our Earth. So, so here's where it gets super interesting. Now, if you do a sequel, you've got Hera, the human Cylon hybrid child. You know, you got like 150,000 years later, well, she wouldn't be around, but some version of Hera or her consciousness or her lineage, to say, would be through, you know, natural, like generations of parents and whatever, because it established that, you know, Cylons and humans can have kids, whatever, so they would have like a family. So either Hera's great grandkids, whatever, somebody would be in charge of the new Cylons. And I don't necessarily know if it would be a humanoid model. I think what they would do would be, you know, just before they everybody landed on the planet and everything like that, they gave the Centurions the broken down base star and let them go on their merry way. So you have to wonder, would the Centurions come back? And see, it wouldn't make sense anyway, because why exactly would they be attacking the humans after 150,000 years? You know, it doesn't make sense. So I kind of think like it's really convoluted when you go the route of a sequel, because you know, what are you going to make 12 or 13 colonies on Earth instead of having countries, and yeah, the whole 9 yards. Then it's not really a Battlestar Galactica story. It's more of a generic sci-fi Earth Defense Force type story, you know, and you know the usual like trope about Earth building a space fleet and blah blah blah. kind of what we have now, technically, because we do have a space force, no joke. So, I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like it would not be the best idea for a direct sequel. Definitely not the best idea for a direct sequel. Now, here in a second, I will move on to the next theory, which is a lot better. And I think that this would be, if they're smart, what they're going to go with. They absolutely should go with they absolutely should go with this idea. I'm just kind of reading the comments on my article. Interesting. How about Hollywood stop ruining everything? Yeah, I'm worried about that because, see, 2019, when you talk about reboots or anything else, then you get into what's the woke level going to be? How what's that going to be like? And see, that's what I'm worried about. I feel like they do anything that they do is like really really kind of just woke nonsense these days. You have to really look and look and look, because increasingly, and especially now with an election cycle going on and everything else, we're gearing up for the 2020 presidential runs. I feel like they're just going to keep putting out like woke nonsense in Hollywood. Now there are some notable things that are different. Next year we're getting that Ghostbusters movie that's supposed to be low on woke. There's a few other projects that are supposed to be, but for the most part, Hollywood is stuck in this, forced diversity, forced bend a knee, and everything else bubble, and they're marketing to a demographic that aren't even really true science fiction fans. They might dabble in science fiction. They might say that they like science fiction, but they really don't. They don't buy the model kits. They don't buy the toys. They don't buy the memorabilia. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like that, with the really woke nonsense going on, it scares me about this show, because I will say this, even back with the 2004 run that Battlestar did, now everybody knows, like, Ron Moore is liberal. I mean, most of them are flaming libs, right? But he did a good job in the show of the different, even when he had the different writers that did different episodes, and he did a good job of kind of keeping it so that he left it up to the audience, and that's what made BSG such a really good success. The story was well crafted. if they tackled a major social issue or something like that, it was always left up to the audience. And that's what made the run more Battlestar Galactica very good, I thought. And I don't think with the reboot necessarily, I'm not sure that we'll get that, because now you look at the way things are presented in 2019, they like to really like preach and lecture in sort of moral high ground the audience instead of presenting two different sides of an issue. So yeah, that's a lot of what worries me about this show, and about the stuff they're going to have on NBC, on that streaming service, because I mean, let's be real. NBC is one of the wokest of the woke networks. So to think that they won't mess with it is, it's a reach, at least right now. I would say post 2020 there might be hope. The more that people wake up and start to push back against this stuff, and the more that Hollywood starts to lose money, but until we really make an impression and hit them in the wallet, we're going to keep getting this nonsense. So it's just something that we have to deal with, unfortunately. And yeah, I know that it really blows. So I hope everybody so far is enjoying the stream. I don't know who's all out there. I know my keyboard's loud, so anyhow, I will get back to the topic at hand. I got sidetracked on that total tangent talking about woke bullshit, but let's be real, it's woke bullshit. I am 100% against the whole wokeness thing, okay? I mean, if you haven't been brought up the right way and have common sense to, just naturally treat people how you want to be treated nowadays, I mean, there's something wrong. And if you have to be coddled and taken by the hand and taught the super woke lessons, oh man, there's no hope for you anyway. So, all I can say is get some gumption and, do things for yourself. Don't let people lead you around and be all like, ooh, you gotta be woke and follow the narrative. No. That's one thing you guys can guarantee about me. When you read me in Bounding in Comics, I am one of those journalists that, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I will tell you exactly my opinion and tell you what I think. I don't care about the backlash. I don't care about the mobs coming to drag me. I don't care about people calling names. They can do what they want. I keep it as real as it gets because, I mean, you only live once. What the hell are they going to do anyway? What they do? Dox me? It's like, hey, yeah, go ahead. Stop by my house. I don't care. What are you going to do? Honestly. So I keep it real. I tell it like it is. And I mean, I'm 45. I'm halfway through my friggin' life. I mean, there's no other way to be at this point. I wouldn't want to be like, it's not like it was when I was 16 because I didn't know shit back then. I actually know shit now. All right. Anyway, let's go back to I keep getting sidetracked. I keep going on these rants. But let's go back to the story. So, all right. So what I felt would be the best idea for a reboot would be to revisit the first Cylon War. And I will tell you why. It makes sense from a business standpoint because, number one, you have a video game running concurrently in the same timeline, First Cylon War. It's made by the developers Slitherine. It's already licensed by Universal, so it's already canon, and it just makes all the sense in the world. If you do your show in the First Cylon War, then you can run concurrently with the video game, and you've got all those units, the ships, the characters, like all kinds of things from the game that you can just cross-pollinate back and forth. I think it would be great. The only thing that sucks is it's going to exclude some cool ship models like the Mercury class Battlestar, which was the Pegasus, and some of the other advanced models of ships. I don't think you'll see Viper Mark 7s, but come on, let's be real. Everybody liked the Viper Mark 2s more than the Mark 7s. Even though I enjoyed the Viper Mark 7s, but yeah, I was a Viper Mark 2 guy all the way. But that's a huge business advantage, and a lot of people like that because don't forget, a lot of people that watch sci-fi TV shows, fantasy TV shows, are also gamers. There's more than one thing. It's our flavor, right? We read comics, we game, we watch, we make time to watch cool content. So it's all intermixing constantly. So yeah, you got people that would be really enthused for that. That play the game, that want to see that. So I think it would work definitely on that level. And then you've got a really wide open opportunity for new human and new Cylon characters. You could have they have a Cylon model in in the video game. So if you play Battlestar Galactica Deadlock and you're playing the campaign, they have a Cylon model in game that is similar, sort of inspired by the 78 show, if you remember Lucifer as the Imperious leader. So it's an IL model, and it shows some IL models in the video game. So you could actually, you could see the IL models incorporated into the TV series, and that would be really cool because nobody to this point has seen the Lucifer style Cylons on screen. So I think people would dig that quite a bit. So we've got that going also, and then you got a really lot of there's a whole lot of unexplored territory in the First Cylon War. So you got wide open room for stories and places to explore, and different planets, different battles. You create lore. There's all kind of things in there. So so the only thing that I see that's going to stop it from being successful is, again, it's going to go on the if it doesn't worship at the altar of wokeness, it's going to be successful. I mean, the only other thing besides that is the fact that it is behind a paywall, and we could get into the whole, like, is there too many streaming services? And I think yes. So eventually there's going to be where a couple of companies are going to buy up the majority of streaming services, and then you're going to get into where you can start to pick plans a la carte. It's going to turn into like cable TV, but on the internet, basically. It's a matter of time, right? Because companies always do that. So, it is what it is. But for now, we're going to have, a kabillion streaming services because there's going to be competition. The one good thing about that is it might keep monthly fees down for a little while. So you will get deals, you'll get, different things to where, okay, it might be worth it to pick it up for a month or so, and then you can just binge the shit out of stuff for a while and then, dump it. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, the only thing I could see is the woke factor and the being behind a paywall. I mean, that's the only two things that I think are real cons about it. So I guess the Bounding guys are watching me make my big debut. I'm like kind of nervous. This is the first time that I'm streaming on my YouTube channel. I mean, I literally popped my YouTube streaming cherry tonight. So this is my first one. So I hope I'm doing okay for you guys. Again, this is completely off the cuff and on the fly. So this is probably not the greatest with production value and everything else. But hey, it is what it is. I'm doing my best here. I know, like, there's been some fans on Twitter that have reached out to me. I want to definitely send a shout out to yesterday. I had, where was it? I had, I don't have Twitter up here, so I'm just like kind of looking at Twitter on my device. I had a gentleman reach out to me about Matt C. I want to give Matt C some props. He liked the article, and we were just discussing the direction that we wanted the show to go in, and he brought up some interesting points too. His biggest thing was, he didn't want it to become redundant because of another reboot. And I really think that if they do the first Cylon War style type thing, it won't become redundant. I don't think so. It's an entirely different thing, like I said, if they go the woke route. And if they go the woke route, you guys know what's going to happen. I mean, to quote the great Doomcock, without respect, we must reject. And you guys know what's up with that. We will. We'll just say, take that, get that shit out of here. Yeah, we ain't about the wokeness. So, well, anyhow, I know that in the future I have a review coming because we had some new DLC speaking of the Battlestar Galactica video game, we had some new DLC for Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. I am in process of playing through the game again, so it's going to take a little bit. I'm getting to the DLC. I started a whole playthrough, brand new playthrough. So it's going to take a bit, but the review will be up in a week or two. I'm just playing when I can get the time to play. So it's really good. If you read Bounding, I'm the staff video game writer as well. That's part of my wheelhouse. So, if there's any breaking news in gaming, I'm all over it. It's funny. I haven't really I know TwitchCon has been happening, but I haven't really covered TwitchCon, and I might have to save this for a different live stream. But let's just say Twitch isn't doing much to endear itself to the gaming community. I will leave it at that. It's just there continues to be bizarre scandals, just concerns over enforcing the TOS, and then you get into the whole other subject of, well, they're not catering to the average person. They're only catering to a small minority of high money-making partners, and that's it. They're not they're not taking care of the average streamer that joins the platform like you or I. They're just all about a small circle of successful partners, and that's that. And so they're losing a lot of people to other platforms, D-Live, Mixer, places like that. So I will keep you, not to make a pun, because we all know the booby streamers, but I will keep you abreast of any issues on Twitch, obviously, and in gaming. So you have that as well. So Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, gaming, the occasional Star Trek, man, I'm all over it, because just like you guys, I'm a fan of these things. I'm a fan of sci-fi. I'm a fan of fantasy to a degree, and horror, and I just like a lot of different things. And writing for Bounding has made it just so much more worthwhile, because not only can I express myself, express my opinions, but collectively I'm in a great group, because these guys all know their stuff, man. If you read like Don, if you read Don's stuff, man, he's great with his articles, and Phil, and my boy George, man, Jorge Arenas, he is the man, and he knows his stuff about horror, and he is our resident Star Trek expert. And last but not least, of course, my boss, John F. Trent, the man, the myth, the legend. He just continues. He's got remember in the old Oakland Raiders stadium, commitment to excellence. Oh, he's got the excellence, fam. He does. He's good with what he does, and he's got connections. He's got hookups, and John always breaks some good stuff. So, make sure you check out our site. We're different than a lot of the other online journalist sites, where you'll go and you'll see the usual la-di-da, follow the narrative type articles. We ain't that. We are not that. We're going to give you an open-minded view and tell you like it is. And that's the Bounding into Comics way. And that's how we're always going to be. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check the stream out. It was fun. Definitely going to do this again. Apologies if I was a little repetitive. I don't have any fancy production value or anything else, but at least we had a good time. So I know I had a good time talking to you guys about Battlestar, and we'll get into some more as more details come out about this BSG series or anything about BSG Deadlock. You know, we'll definitely be on it. I know that Space Doc guy, the one YouTuber that writes about BSG Deadlock, hopefully one of these times I can reach out to him and see if I can't since he's a BSG fan, get him on here and pick his brain about the different Colonial and Cylon ships and technology. So if you guys want to see that, I will kind of look into seeing what I can do to reach out to that man, and hopefully we can get something going like that. Also, keep in mind, I'm a gamer. Jorge's a gamer, and we play Dead by Daylight. And I have been saying, like, for so long, man, every time I see George, they're like, hey, bro, we got to play DVD. We got to stream it. We got to play DVD. We got to stream it. One of these times, promise you guys, we will play DVD and we will stream it. It'll likely be on my my old Twitch channel, but we'll do it. We'll make that happen for you. So yeah, make sure you check us out. boundingintocomics.com. The website is always easy to access, and hey, there's also a built-in thing on the website with you can click yes and accept a newsletter, and then you'll get a newsletter in your email box that tells you when new stuff is posted, and more entertainment news breaks. So there you go. So it's a win-win. So make sure you stay in touch with Bounding Into Comics, because guys, we're a cut above, man. So check that out. And until next time, guys, take it easy. Peace and chicken grease, and much love to you guys. Have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend.